Day 6. Day 6. How is everyone doing? No, you're not here yet. How is it going through this portal? What are you noticing? What has been showing up for you? I'll take a minute. Let me silence my computer and turn it on. So, let's see. What are we speaking to? Where have you been putting your focus? Is the question. I think I'll start with the card and see what shows up. Hello, hello, hello. I have an elemental empath deck and a pull a card from it. That's the deck. How are you today? What's happening today? What are you noticing today? Oh, a couple just popped out there. Number 5, feel emotions, understand emotions, inner guidance, validate the self, balance. Number 2, all is connected, balance extremes, inner and outer. All right, here's the first one, feel emotions. I feel like this sometimes. Yeah. Face plant on my hand. Yep, feel like that sometimes. And then balance, the yin and the yang, and you see the black and the white and the wings, and I have to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. All right. All right, so feel emotions. What are you feeling? What are you noticing showing up? I just heard somebody say something to me and I was like, oh my gosh, thinking is human. Feeling is divine. Feeling is where the intuition lies, where the guidance lies. I thought, oh, that's, I wrote it down so I could keep that in my forefront. Thinking is human. Feeling is divine. Yes. So feeling the emotions. So feelings, those two things together are like oxymoron, because emotions, energy, in motion. Emotions are the stories that we make up based on our past and our previous experiences. And then we weave the story and we start reliving the whole emotional state again, and the trauma. And then the feeling is something that we feel viscerally, often intuitively in our body, and it's different than the emotions that we tell the story about. Had an experience. I was at a spiritual ceremony for several days, and this young man, young enough to be my child, we had quite a connection. And I'm married and he had a fiance or something, and so at the end I said, there's something that I'm really feeling, this connection, and not in, I had to qualify it, not in a weird way. And he goes, well, I like weird. I said, well, you know what I mean. It's awkward. His girlfriend was standing right there. I made sure. And I simply sat with the feeling of it, rather than making it mean all the things in my past, the people pleasing that would show up, or the validation and the flattery and all that. I just sat with it. What is this? He walked away, did his thing. We were all getting ready to packing up to leave, and I went do my thing, and I went, oh, we were star brother and sister. And that's what that connection was, and that's what the feeling was. Had I wrapped it up in a whole bunch of emotional trauma from my past and give it all kinds of story, we would have went down a different road, or not at all, or would have gotten weird and awkward. So I went up and told him. He's like, oh my God, exactly. We just made sense. So I'm just qualifying the difference between emotions and feelings. Feel your emotions. I would say feel your feelings. Feeling the emotions is so that you can clear the trauma, which is what we're talking about. I know I just jumped right in, didn't I? Feeling the emotions is feeling the trauma, or the charge that's left with them based on how you process or what you still make it mean or how it shows up for you when someone touches that same wound. When someone touches that wound and we're having that reaction, we get into the emotions and then we're reliving that whole experience. Current. So I call it the original wound. When the original wound gets touched, it kicks off this whole series of emotions and chemistry in the body. And we're reliving it. And that deals with the shadow part where we keep reliving the same things over and over. We keep picking the same kind of relationships because we haven't cleared that energy. So part of feeling those emotions is to breathe into them. When you notice what's showing up, take a really deep breath in through your nose, keep it circular, breathe in, I count it. Breathe in through the nose for 8 and out through the mouth for 8. And what it does is it breathes energy into that trauma area and helps move it out. Super simple, super powerful. We can do all the writing. We can just notice what's showing up, all that stuff. We don't have to search for it. It's going to be revealed. It's just paying attention to what's being revealed and not denying it and pretending it's not happening. Or let me just brush under the rug again. Or let me relive it again. So I keep that same chemistry in the body going. Balance. All is connected. So when we clear those emotions, we come into some balance. We come into, hi dude. We come into some balance. Oh my cat, what's up here? He wants to be up here too. Hi. Hi, this is Bobby. He likes to get on my desk, but I have all these crystals and stuff on my desk, so I don't want him up there. This is my buddy. He likes to hang out for a minute on my lap, and then he'll get down. Yeah. So coming into balance, the deeper we clear the emotions and the trauma, the easier it is to be in balance. And what is balance anyway? We have this whole topic and conversation about balance. Where are you in the moment? And can you be balanced wherever you are in the moment? Because sometimes our life takes us in a direction that we're not planning. We weren't thinking we're going to go there. So it's about walking in balance in the moment. It's not about trying to gather back all the things or let go of this thing so I can. It's not like that. Walking in balance in ourselves, walking emotionally in balance, being able to respond in our life, being able to roll with it, walk in flow, that's balance. So define that for yourself. What is balance for you? What does it mean for you when you're in balance? Because sometimes like life happens and you're going and going and going because life is happening or somebody needs your attention right now because that's what's happening. How do you walk in balance with yourself? How do you maintain balance as a form of self-care? That's really what it's about. When we continue to clear those deep emotions, we call them the shadow, the things that we haven't wanted to look at, the deeper things that are coming up, it's easier to walk in that flow. It's easier to respond in life. But being willing. I was just talking with someone before I came on and I said, she's like, I said, it's showing up for you to clear about being rigid. And they said, oh, we just had a conversation last week about something that happened. And she went, I forgot all about that. So I did too, till you said the word rigid. And so taking a look at how am I rigid in my life, in my thinking, in my beliefs. And then she said, how do you release that? I said, you just breathe into it. Sometimes it's simple as acknowledging it. You're talking about it with someone, you're acknowledging it, breathing into it, letting it clear. I'm finding today, how about you? I'm finding today that it's most things are much simpler to release and clear. the big major things. Most people I feel that are coming in here, showing up here, have done a lot of that already. That's our attraction, right? We've done a lot of that already. We're on the path. We've been on the path a while. And so the things that are now showing up seem to be a little easier, or a lot easier, just because it's just an acknowledgement and an understanding that that's why it's coming to the surface, is for us to take a look. And if it's something really deep, it may take a little bit more. It's been my experience. What else is there on that? Anyway, let me go back to, I'm 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes in. My name is Marty. And I said day 6 in the beginning, but I didn't even introduce myself. I just started because I get really excited about it. My name is Marty Forrest. I am, empath, lightworker, blue ray. I coach, I teach, I assist, I mentor, grid worker, all kinds of labels. Do cards and listen to my intuition, and I channel. And that's how this all started. My friend said, hey, you want to do this 10-day portal activation? Yeah, we're talking about the shadow. Great. One of the things I like to do, dig in and keep it really simple. We haven't all had really simple lives. Some of us have had really traumatic, very, very traumatic, like way more than I ever imagined in this lifetime. It doesn't mean I haven't experienced it in other lifetimes. But some of the stories I hear, it's like, wow, holy cow. This is wild. So, it doesn't always feel so easy to come into balance and to clear the emotions, because there's a lot of stuff. I mentioned yesterday about tapping. Tapping is super, super powerful to disrupt the pattern. The breath work, counting the breath work, disrupts the pattern. So there's many, many tools. Ho'oponopono. Thank you, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry. It's those 4 phrases. I don't know if there's a particular order. It's a Hawaiian name, whatever. Ho'oponopono. Exactly like it sounds. Ho'oponopono. If you're not familiar with it, you can look it up, and it's just say that. You say that over and over. Hello, Felicia. How are you today? Oh, there came one. Oh, 2. Hold on, I gotta pick them up. They hit the ground. My talisman deck. Talking about different ways of elixir of life and blessed day. So there we go. Ho'oponopono tapping. It's elixir. They're like elixirs. They're ways of disrupting the patterns and the traumas and the labels. So many of us, just in our culture, we just carry so many things. So one of the elixirs of life can be looking at the ways that what works for you to clear, what works for you to disrupt the pattern, because that's what it takes. We can get into our story and reliving the drama and the emotions and the sobbing and the crying, and sometimes that's required. I don't know if it's always required, but sometimes it's ready for the Black Pyramid journey this evening. Excellent. I saw you hadn't gone live yet. I went and looked. And then blessed day. Yeah. Hi, miss. Hello. Party mayhem. Miss 13. How about that? I like that. Choosing your focus. Hi, Mr. This is Bobby. For those of you that weren't here. He keeps wanting up here on the desk. I'm like, Mom, let me up. Yeah, no. Not on the desk. You're not getting on the desk. Where are you? He is a cutie. And he was born without a tail. He's a little nub. He has no tail at all. He wants out. Let me let him out the door. All right. There you go. That's why he was coming to me. All right. He's a very sweet cat. He's a hunter. Okay. balance, focus. That's what it was. Where you put your focus. Something I recognized, and I've noticed it over my life. So I grew up in a home that was hypercritical. That was my life. And it's taken years and years and years to unlearn that and shift out of being critical. And I will absolutely default to that because that's what I know. Like the back of my hand. When I'm journaling, and I've had some journal prompts given to me, I tend to go toward the thing that I feel like needs to be fixed or I need to go deeper into. Sometimes it's something that's been showing up in my life, but sometimes that's where it's easy. I mean, you know what? I don't want to have to do, I don't want to keep doing that. Because while it's releasing and clearing, it can be very heavy when it's all the time. So I decided I'm going to just shift that and focus on what are the beautiful things in my life? What are the blessings in my life? What am I grateful for? And then as I'm writing that out, something else popped in. I went, it's the next piece that comes under that. And it wasn't super heavy, but it's still that focus of the deeper clearing. That's all I can say about it. And it's like never ending. We're never done. But I feel a lot better, a lot lighter when I'm focusing on the really amazing things in my life and where I'm really blessed in my life and all of the abundance in my life. And so choosing your focus. Where are you putting your attention? Oh, wow. Blessings of 4. I got 4. It is such a deep commitment. I do a gratitude journal every single morning, and I journal almost every single morning, unless something changes the schedule. But I do that every day because that works for me. I get to do like a brain dump, and then I move into something a lot lighter and a lot more positive. It works for me, and it helps me to get clear of whatever was floating around in my brain at night. Then it's about choosing, writing in my journal at the moment while watching. I love it. Yes, yes, note taker. It's a good thing because I don't remember all the stuff I hear, and I really want to remember it. That's why I wrote down the whole, my friend said, thinking is human, feeling is divine. I was like, well, let me write that down. So, committing to where you put your focus, because your energy follows where you put your focus. It's a twofold thing, because when we're focusing on, if somebody was talking about the other day, I focus only on the positive, and I said, well, that's great. That's a great thing to do, but if you're dismissing the other side of that and not willing to look at the shadow parts or your feelings, and you just go, oh, that's just how it is, and I'm going to only look over here, then half of you is missing, and you get into this Pollyanna thing, and then it becomes this false light because you're not looking at the parts that need to be cleared so that we can carry brighter light. Does that all make sense? It's really about, the balance is about being present to all of it and then choosing where to focus. Let me clear the stuff and then focus over here on where I'm going or what I'm doing. Unveiling the golden age of... They dropped your car. This is the deck. I had another one of hers yesterday. Number 75. Mountain. Paladin of Earth Guardians. think that's how you say it. Paladin? I haven't heard that before. I'll have to look that up. Restful renewal, 4 of activations. So in this space of activation, making sure that you take care of yourself. Resting is balance. Resting can be for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, a little power nap. And resting might be 12 hours of sleep. Just taking that time to rest and let your body reset. When I go take a nap, it's 20-ish minutes, but I actually feel my body finally hit that reset point, and I'm awake. I'm waking up. Sometimes I roll over and go, I just want to lay here a little longer. So I do that. 9 of Earth Gardens. I'm not really familiar with these cards. I'm pulling them out and I'm like, I really like them. Feels like, I'm going to go with what it feels like to me is putting your hands on the earth and connecting. Rainbow portal, paladin. That's the second one, of paladin of portals. So here's the rainbow portals, and definitely revitalizing, having a power nap every once in a while. I'm like every day if I can. Because about 1 o'clock, sometimes 2 o'clock, like I gotta go take a nap. So what was she saying? The getting ready for the Black Pyramid journey this evening. So here's the rainbow portal. So this is there's many ways to get in balance, and when like we have stuff happening in life and our family needs attention, or you have kids that need your attention, and then taking those moments to put your feet on the earth, to touch the earth, to get into your garden. That's what I'm getting from these. And this rainbow portal, let me see this. Let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up. 47. I'm cooking in here. It is time to bring your dreams into reality. Delight in the process. Stay in your heart and let this be a romantic adventure. Excuse me. You have set your dreams in motion, and now it is time to take the rainbow path of actualization. Though, who says it needs to be boring? The full spectrum of this poetic rainbow bridge takes you all the way to your wildest dreams. You are following your passions. You are in the moment, enjoying the ride, with the momentum of your imagination and creative expression leading the way. You have taken your daydreams, like the wispy, swirly clouds in the sky, and are grounding them down onto the land to make them real. There is no hurry or stress. There is compassion and kindness for those involved. You have a balance of masculine and feminine. You are getting something done on the yang linear side, yet the yin delight of taking the scenic route. It's a fun card. That's a very fun card. Again, about the balance and bringing your dreams into fruition. Yeah, I was listening to something, I think it was yesterday, and it was, one of my mentors has said to me, and I've heard it over and over, is the body is the last place to feel the ascension. We feel the energy, we feel the spirit, we feel all those things, and then the body is the last place to feel the ascension symptoms that we've all been experiencing. And I'm listening to something about imagining as if it's already done. So imagining your dreams as if they're already done. And when we use our imagination and we use we tap into our feelings, because that's what the universe reads as our vibration, the last place for it to manifest is physical. I'm like, ding, 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 mic drop for me. When we are focusing and we're moving toward dreams and visualizing and tapping into our feelings as if it's already done, the universe reads that, but it takes time. It takes time, like gestation, for the universe and our vibration to match because we have our shit to clear out first. When you declare something to the universe, I want a relationship, or I'm done with this behavior, or this kind of belief, or this kind of action with someone. You have something that's not going well in a relationship, some kind of an abusive situation, or somebody's just not very nice. I'm declaring I'm done. And then it seems like everything that keeps showing up. Because we've already pre-paved it for a long time with that. And when we declare, we're shifting it and we're transforming it. That has to get cleared out. Sometimes it goes really easily, and sometimes it takes a while. And in that process, we can tend to default to what's familiar and what's comfortable, which is that thing that we want to transform. Any declaration that we decide, we're shifting, we're changing, we're moving in this other direction. If we've been going in a certain path and we've carried certain beliefs, that stuff has to move out of the way. It's like when you clean out the closet. You got to pull it all out to see what is going to stay and what needs to go. Same with our beliefs. We got to pull them all out and let go of the ones that aren't serving us so that we can move into the declaration that we're telling the universe that we desire to move into. Let me put it into, let's see. I wanted a healthy relationship. I had a broken picker for a long, long time. Real story. And I picked the same kind of relationships, whether it was man or woman, but particularly in the romantic arena, abusive, narcissistic, those kind of things. I'm like, how do I keep doing this? And then when I finally went, I'm done. But I had to get healthy with me first. And then I'm like, I'm done with these kind of relationships. But what keeps showing up? All that shit. It just keeps showing up. I'm like, really? I've already said I'm done. Done. We're done. Then I'm mad about it because I'm like, it's not happening. Well, because I have to clear the pathway. Clear the channel of all that energy and all that emotion and all that belief that I'm worthy and I deserve someone to treat me like a queen or a goddess. Right? It's truly all about us. In the most healthy of ways, it's all about us. For us to love ourselves so much that we don't tolerate that crap. For us to love ourselves so much that we vibrate so high, we don't even attract it anymore. Yes. You've never heard that before. Wow. Great. I love it. Yeah, and then when you start to clear it out, or even I like gardening analogies too. When you start to clear out the weeds, and you gotta dig and dig and dig and dig to get to the core. So let me go back to the relationship then. So I'm declaring this, and then I still have all these people, I'm like, WTF, really? And it's frustrating because I know I want this kind of healthy relationship, but I had to fix. I didn't have to fix me. I had to remember who I am and my value and my worth. We are whole, complete human beings, but our mind tells us a whole lot of other stuff. So reprogramming that stuff until I knew my worth and my value. Then I could attract the partner. And then it happened when I least expected it. That's how it goes. I let go of trying to find him and just worked on me. So the gardening, if you like to garden, it applies because when we had in California a lot of crabgrass, Bermuda, they're tendrils and they go everywhere. So part of the garden we had got the digging fork and we dug out all that stuff, and then the other part of the garden we didn't. We kind of rototilled and pulled the top layer out. When that part grew back, you couldn't even pull it. We've got the garden in, but you can't even pull the Bermuda out because it just pulls the top layer. And then on the other side, you get some little sprouts coming up. And as they're coming up, you just pull them out. Really easy. So when you get to the core, the core of the thread and the root, same thing with us. We get to that core and pull that out. And then when the things start to show up, they're just little. And you just go, oh, let me just pluck that little sprout. But when we begin, it's like that Bermuda that you just didn't get to the root of it. You just kind of went to the top. Yeah. Questions? Anybody have any questions on this? I got distracted by something. Let me pull this one. Pull one more card. The inner child deck is this one. Tomorrow will maybe be in the morning. Choose yourself today. Do not deny your importance. Can't make it up here. Choose yourself. Choose yourself first, and you can change your mind. Have you ever said you're going to do something, and then when it comes time to do that thing, you're like, I don't really want to go. I'm not really feeling it. Get really clear with yourself, because sometimes you got to... Right? Absolutely. So get really clear with yourself. Is it simply a moment of feeling, or is the thing that you've committed to something that Spirit has guided you to go to? Some things are just, I said yes in the moment. It was excited in the moment. And then when the time comes, I'm like, not feeling it. It's okay to cancel it. When we're living in our clarity and we get really clear with ourselves, it happens. We make commitments in the moment. It felt really good. And then when the time comes, it's not feeling so good. Or I need to stay home and take care of myself. Whatever it is, you are enough, and you don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe anybody an explanation. The more we explain to people, especially people who are abusive, it becomes ammunition. Yeah, lots of these old kind of conversations have been showing up recently, so I'll leave you with that. No is a complete sentence. And you don't owe anybody an explanation. And if people ask you and you are that kind of, you have that kind of relationship that they're not going to question it and you can share with them, great. If not, stand your ground, keep your boundary. Maybe we'll touch on that tomorrow. Boundaries. Yes, I'm liking it. That feels good. All right, lovelies. I got to get going. We have a meeting to go to. I will see you tomorrow. I will post the time. I'm thinking maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, Central Time. So if it is, I will make sure to put that out there tonight for the morning. If not, it'll be later in the day. But subscribe, turn on then you'll turn on the notifications. Thank you for the hearts so that you get notified when I come on live. And if you've seen the notification, you'll know when. All right, lovelies, have a beautiful day. Go check out Felicia. Be Soul Light 379. She's going to come on later, apparently. And then Amethyst Rain 23 on Instagram. She's doing sound healing. And so we've been doing this all three of us all these days. So go check them out too, because they all stack. Great chatting again with you too. I'm so glad you made it. See you tomorrow. And check out the other ones, and I will see you here tomorrow. Namaste.